How to spot manipulative behavior in women, key tactics revealed. Hello everyone. Today, I want to discuss the distinction between manipulation and positive persuasion, as well as the importance of recognizing genuine needs. Even if you are uncertain about wanting a long-term relationship, many men can easily be misled by physical attraction into developing feelings for a woman who may exhibit concerning behaviors or red flags. It's crucial to identify these signs early on so that you can address them promptly, either by setting clear boundaries or by helping her understand your expectations. Your standards should prioritize positive persuasion while firmly rejecting any form of selfish manipulation. As a side note, it's important to remember that all emotionally healthy, high-value women do not engage in manipulative behavior. If a woman is manipulative, she likely does not possess the emotional health or high value that you deserve. These are the criteria you should keep in mind to avoid overlooking potential issues that may arise due to strong physical attraction or her captivating personality. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen, and welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. Let's dive right into the first manipulation tactic to be aware of: excessive need for attention or reassurance. This behavior often stems from neediness or insecurity. It's common for women to have insecurities, many of us do, but when these feelings become excessive or are driven by selfish motives, it's time to take notice. For instance, consider a scenario where a woman experienced the loss of her father at a young age, which led to abandonment issues. I can relate to this personally, as I faced similar challenges and insecurities in my youth. Interestingly, younger women may be more prone to insecurities that they haven't yet had the chance to overcome. In such cases, she might constantly seek to know your whereabouts, request frequent updates throughout the day, or even check your phone. These behaviors are red flags and can be considered manipulation tactics. She may also express unfounded suspicions about you pursuing other women or guilt you for not responding quickly enough to her messages. Another manipulation tactic to watch for is the damsel in distress act. This can sometimes be a sign of covert narcissism, which I believe I have discussed in a previous video that you can find in my Red Flags playlist. When a woman adopts this persona, she may try to position you as her hero, but in a way that makes you feel overwhelmed by her dependency. It's essential to ensure that you are not inadvertently engaging in similar behaviors yourself, so I encourage you to review the list later and reflect on your actions. In this scenario, she might display emotional vulnerability, perhaps even shedding tears, which could be genuine. However, it's still a warning sign, especially if she frequently expresses feelings of worthlessness or self-deprecation. When someone says things like, "Don't love me," or "How could you possibly love me," or "You can do better than me," or "She's better for you than I am," these are all phrases rooted in victim mentality. They're designed to make you feel responsible for reassuring them and catering to their every emotional need. Now, the third point is juicy, but we'll save that one for later. For now, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 has to do with guilt-tripping or punishing behavior. She might ask you to do things for her as a form of punishment because she feels hurt, whether it's something you did on purpose, accidentally, or maybe didn't even realize you did at all. For instance, say you had to cancel plans, and this upset her. As a way of punishment, the next time you take her out, she insists on going to a fancier, more expensive restaurant to make up for your earlier cancellation. If it was a special occasion like an anniversary, sure, she may have a valid reason to be upset, but even then, she shouldn't manipulate you into compensating for it. Instead, healthy communication should take place, more on that in a moment. Now, she might also blow things out of proportion, exaggerating how hurt she feels over something relatively minor. For example, she might say, "I can't believe you did that to me," or "I can't believe you forgot," when realistically, no reasonable person would see it as a big deal, unless, of course, it was last-minute plan changes or tied to a significant event. This kind of dramatic reaction is another sign of guilt-tripping. Moving on to number 5, flipping the script. This happens when she uses your past mistakes against you to deflect blame from herself. Let's revisit the restaurant scenario. Say she cancels dinner plans last minute, and you're already there or almost there, waiting for her. Understandably, you'd probably feel annoyed, especially if you've had a rough day. You mention your frustration, which is completely fair. But instead of addressing the current issue, she turns it around by bringing up everything you've ever done wrong in the past. Suddenly, she's reminding you about that one time 3 years ago when you canceled dinner plans. Or worse, she starts pulling other unrelated incidents from her long-term memory bank to paint you as the bad guy. Here's a little side note: women generally tend to have a larger emotional center in the brain compared to men. Biologically speaking, it's about 8 times larger. This means we often remember emotional events vividly and store them in our long-term memory. While having a strong emotional memory can sometimes work in your favor because we genuinely value experiences deeply, using those memories to shift blame onto you during conflicts isn't healthy, it's manipulative. Bringing up ancient history to justify her own missteps? That's a red flag. Understanding how her mind operates helps explain why she stores certain memories, especially those related to mistakes or conflicts in your relationship. This is part of how she protects herself emotionally. The truth is, if she keeps track of all the things you might have done wrong, it often means she values the positive aspects of your relationship deeply. So, there's a bit of a silver lining in that behavior: she's holding on to the good even while remembering the bad. Silver lining number 6 is about how she might boost your ego to avoid consequences for something she's done. This is a different approach from blaming you or bringing up your past mistakes. Instead, she flatters you, which can serve 2 purposes: either to lessen the impact of something she's done wrong or as a preemptive move to ask for something she knows you might not approve of. For example, she might say, I really want to go to Vegas for my friend's bachelorette party, even if she's overwhelmed with debt or if your household finances are tight because one of you is unemployed or struggling financially. When she strokes your ego to get what she wants, it's a form of manipulation. She might compliment you excessively or even cook your favorite meal, but she won't immediately reveal her true motive. Instead, she waits until she feels she's earned enough goodwill that you'll find it difficult to say no or question her request. It's important to clarify that if you're not yet in a committed relationship with shared responsibilities, this kind of behavior can be particularly tricky. This point also connects closely with another tactic I'll explain shortly, tip number 3, which is quite revealing. Before diving into that, I want to emphasize that doing kind things for each other in a relationship is absolutely positive and necessary. Acts of kindness build a goodwill bank that helps couples weather tough times. When you have a bad day or a disagreement, you can draw on those positive experiences to maintain your bond. The key difference lies between selfish manipulation and genuine, positive persuasion. We'll explore that distinction in detail right after the next juicy tip. Tip number 3 involves how she uses physical intimacy, not just casual affection, but as a strategic tool to get what she wants or to avoid trouble. For instance, if she's already bought tickets to Vegas despite financial strain, she might use physical closeness to soften your resistance or distract you from the issue. This tactic makes it harder for you to say no or push back because it creates an emotional or physical connection that can cloud judgment. She might also use intimacy as a diversion if she's losing an argument or feels cornered during a discussion. It's a classic move. When words aren't working, she shifts the focus to physical affection, which can be difficult to resist. While this might sound a bit cheeky, it's a real strategy some people use. Of course, if she's doing something nice for you and openly communicates her intentions, that's a healthy part of a relationship. The concern arises when the kindness is a calculated move to influence your decisions without your awareness. Imagine your partner says, "I'm cooking you this amazing dinner because I want to ask for something, and I want to sweeten the deal." That's perfectly fine, they're being honest and upfront, which isn't manipulation. Negotiating in a relationship is common and healthy. The key difference between intentional manipulation and positive persuasion lies in a few factors. First, there's a mutual exchange of favors without keeping score. Second, it's a win-win situation, or at least it has the potential to be. Third, your partner openly acknowledges that this is a situation where they benefit, but assures you that your turn will come in the future. Crucially, they have a proven track record of following through on this in the past. If this hasn't happened before or if you're early in the relationship, you'll need to decide if you're willing to take that chance, knowing that you'll have your turn in the future or trusting that it will happen. Fourth, your partner exhibits many of the qualities mentioned in the video. She's a keeper, and lacks the red flags discussed in the videos on toxic and emotionally damaged women. If you feel you're being manipulated, it's a good idea to watch these videos next.